The UK is committed to cutting emissions by 78% by 2035. And in November, Britain will host a key climate conference, COP26, in Glasgow, where it hopes to persuade the international community to sign up to meaningful measures to reduce greenhouse gases. Our political correspondent Chris Mason looks at the challenges facing the government, both on the international stage and closer to home.
Is this the sight and sound of the future under construction? At this factory in Lytham in Lancashire, they make heat pumps, a greener alternative to a gas boiler. But putting them in can be a lot of hassle, and you need lots of insulation so they're effective. One example of the changes some say will soon be essential. How scared should people be? Scared about what they read in this report and scared about what changes in their lives might have to happen?
They need to understand the consequences of us not collectively taking all the right actions. But ultimately, of course, many of these actions come down to governments. It comes down to businesses who are stepping forward and playing their part in terms of going to net zero. And of course, in each of our lives, we can take actions as well.
It's not just abroad that we're seeing more extreme weather more often. From Glasgow last week to London a few days before, we see it here too. One group of international companies is working together to try to drive down their emissions. Are you optimistic about the future?
Am I optimistic? I'm optimistic that we can take action and that there's a lot of will to do that. But I think a report like this shows you that this is about fighting as hard as we can to give ourselves the best chance. It's as good as it's been for as long as I can remember that people are wanting to take action on it. But I think we're a little bit away from saying that we can be optimistic.
The scale of what faces the government here is colossal. Not only banging heads together around the world ahead of this climate summit in a few months' time, but also making the case here that the costs and changes are worth it. Especially as critics say that government ministers themselves are not doing enough. The hydrogen strategy we're still awaiting, the heating and building strategy still not with us, Treasury review during the spring still not with us, Number 10's net zero strategy expected later in the year. Wouldn't your job be easier if the rest of the government got on with what it was meant to be doing?
Well, I am confident that we will deliver on all of these commitments before COP26, and I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this, Chris, I can tell you, to make sure that we get success at COP26.
This is the challenge of our time, with practical consequences for us all. Delivering change quickly and affordably won't be easy. Chris Mason, BBC News.